What's up guys, it's James from Adrenaline. I'm doing a little fireside chat. Had a couple people ask if there's anything they can do to their stock Adrenaline Luxes, which is an oxymoron, but anyway, that we may do on the team that's a little different than how we ship them. I mentioned a couple times in the last few weeks the fourth mechanical set screw, and people said, what is that? So I'm going to show you what that is today, talk about a new spring we're going to be doing, and show you some tweaks if you want to try to tinker around with your gun. So we do not ship our guns to you guys in this configuration, but if you want to tinker around with it, here's some stuff to try. So one thing is, now I've got this sucker completely taken down. It's from the mounds field at World Cup. I decided to basically just run underwater. So in mechanical mode, if you can strip it down enough, probably take off your timer. I just run this whole, almost everything underwater. I take off the eye harness because I'm getting ready to do an efficiency test, and I wanted to just make sure that there was no sand or dirt or anything anywhere. And see, Adrenaline parts tray, kind of something new nobody's seen before. These are going to be going in the next quarter's subscription box with a bunch of other stuff. So anyway, one thing I'll discuss is on the video, if you've seen the video with myself and Eric just trying to outrun the JT Triad, on my run, the bolt didn't cycle fast enough one time. If you have that, or you want to just speed the cycle time off of your bolt, you can remove this O-ring on the outside of the bolt can. Wouldn't recommend in our bolt kits on the amp, but our Lux has been, under 100 PSI for 2 years now. And unless the paint is crazy brittle, you should be okay running it like that, which is going to dramatically increase the cycle time of the bolt, which with some of these other mods, you may actually need that. Step one is trying that. Step two, we actually ship the mechanical spring on the second kind of tooth here. You may try going to the first tooth, or it's not even a tooth, it's just the no man's land up here at the top. Some people like a really long rhythmatic trigger pull, like Aaron Rios is really fast, but he likes a longer pull, whereas myself and Eric do like kind of a mouse click kind of thing. If you want to try the mouse click, this is what this is about, I guess. So anyway, you can try shortening that to the top rung. Then, on the mechanical trigger, in the manual, it talks about these three screws here. This is your activation point. The more you push this back, the farther it goes back towards the sear. You can play around with these three, no problem, and I've done that. But the fourth one I've been talking about is this one, and it takes a 1/16. You got to take your grip off, and it takes a 1/16 screw. And basically what's going on here with the spring is that you have the sear, and it's going like this. It's pivoting on this stainless steel pivot pin. And so if you can see in the hole, this screw reaches up and it touches the sear, okay? So by raising this screw up, you're shortening the travel movement from here to here. Now, one of the things you have to be careful about is the safety. If you get it too short, the safety just will not function whatsoever. I've seen that a lot when we've been trying to work with them on the team. And so I've had to go back and link them a little bit. And what you want, if you're going for this mouse click, is to where you almost have to push in a little hard just to get the safety to work. So it's right on the borderline of not working, but it still works. So that's something to try. I would recommend trying all these different things that I'm talking about one at a time. So if it's something you don't like, you can identify at least what it was. But you want to screw this in clockwise, and that'll raise that up and just make sure that your safety still works. You don't have to have it completely off the gun. You can just remove the grip and play with it. And then if it's the distance you like, just make sure the safety still functions. The last thing is, when we first started talking about the guns, we talked about the two springs. So the one that comes in it is for both mechanical and electronic, and then the one in the bag is for electronic only if you never play mechanical. Over the course of 50,000, 100,000 shots, the spring will actually, I don't know what to call it. It gets, basically tired. It starts to lose some of its tension. And so it's almost like, an annual oil change. You may want to change the spring. Well, we've been tinkered around with a new spring, and this is a DLX discovery that is tougher and can handle more shots and doesn't need an annual change. And so this is a new revised spring. It is different than what you got with the gun. It's different than what's in the bag, and you're going to get a little bit better efficiency off this spring. And all of you need an oil change, so to speak, anyway. So I'm going to work on getting everyone that has one of our guns this new spring. So I said this is things you can tinker around with. I would recommend this no matter what. We'll either throw one in with your next order, or we'll work on getting you postage from you or something and mail it to you once you can prove that you have one of our guns, if you're not one of our known customers with an ID card. So anyway, that's the list for today's fireside chat. We talked about moving the teeth up either one or to no man's land, the revised spring, which I don't even have inventory yet, but once I do, I'll get them to you. Removing the O-ring off of the bolt can, which I think is the size 17, but whatever it is, it's the one that covers these holes up. By exposing the holes, you're going to speed up your bolt speed. And then on the mechanical trigger frame, really, not the trigger itself, this screw right here, if you're going for the mouse click, and you should be able to get it literally pretty much like a computer mouse click. Okay, that's it. That's Fireside Chat. We'll see you next time.